Hello, I'm back. It's Graham, and just delighted that we'll be able to spend just a few minutes together and consider something that's in our lives because of this very interesting period of time where we can have more time to sit and ponder. Well, most of us. I imagine if you've got two young, boisterous children at the present moment running around, that doesn't give you a great deal of time to sit and ponder. But maybe there's a chance, as I said the other day, to, if they go down for sleep, you can get to sit apart and ponder for a moment. I hope that happens for you. Okay. So I have a book which I picked up some time ago. It was actually recommended by a friend. And I really trust that friend. And so I bought the book. And it's a book by a man by the name of Martin Laird, and he's a monk. And he teaches as a professor of divinity. And this is an interesting book because it's really quite small, as you can see. It isn't going to take very long for you, and it didn't take very long for me to read it the first time, and then the second time, maybe a third. It's not, I would say it is as deep as you would like to make it to be. And that can go deep. It's about contemplative prayer. It's about entering into a discipline of silence, of actually trying the best we can to lay down the things which so easily distract us and begin to enter into the presence of God. Now, I understand if that sounds a bit, mystical, and if you use that term mystical, I think you would be right, because this is a form of mysticism that has taken place right from the Desert Fathers, about as early as Christianity understands life and understands the pursuit of God. That mystic element of being set apart in the early days into the desert or into a monastery somewhere, in order for the very express purpose of having an opportunity to know God better, and in knowing him to loving him more, and in loving him more to praising him more for what he has achieved in our lives and other people's lives who surround us. So this is a book called Oceans of Light. And as is my want when I get a new book, and which has been warmly suggested to me, when I buy it, I find that I have a desire from that book. I want to know something, and what I choose to do is I get my pencil out and I write in the blank page that normally publishers have for a book like this. And I write down what it is that I am interested in. And what I would like to think is my motive for reading the book. So this is what I wrote. And I wrote it, by the way, on the 22nd of July in 2019. So you see it's a little bit back in time from now. I want to enter the space that awaits within to enfold me in a full acceptance of being family. I want to experience being known since before the creation took place. This is who I am, one who hears non-verbal words by listening beyond my senses and my life as a human. So that's what I did. And in the end, I, generally speaking, write a few words on what I think happened as a result of reading that book. And this is, I have yet to put that, because I've been working with this book ever since. So the Oceans of Life really comes up with the idea, the old idea of the cloud of unknowing, as it is referred to. And that is something which is between us and God, and it seems to be dark cloud. And the more we try to penetrate it, the less we know or understand. And the whole concept of this contemplative business seems to me to be, don't expect to suddenly climb out of yourself and into the presence of a giant golden throne with a wonderful dazzling lighting, as has been beautifully presented by all kinds of famous artists who, in their attempt to understand what the heavens look like, have given us all of these beautiful images. And the question that it would be beautiful is undeniable. The question of how an individual sees that is also undeniable. It's something that the scripture actually says that it hasn't entered into the heart or the mind of man what he has prepared for us ahead of time. He's actually telling us nobody's really thought about this one for what it really is. So there's something beyond what we think it might be. And he has given us an imagination so that we can imagine how wonderful it's going to be. And in our imaginations, which is a gift, we have seen something that we are perfectly content that that is what it's going to be like. And I don't want to fool with that idea in your heart and your mind at all. That's God's gift to you as an individual and to me as an individual. I have those visions as well. But it's something else that it may well be. And this contemplative time is a way of entering into that dark cloud, the cloud of unknowing, and in that cloud of unknowing to encounter this God who by his very nature loves. And as you enter into that experience of silence, there is an enfolding, which is the best way I can, it's not a big hug, it's an enfolding. It's like moving into a space that actually moves around you. And you are held in a kind of suspension. That's beyond your understanding. You can't come away from it. I can't, with any kind of an understanding about what I've had as an experience. But this I want you to know, is that now, twice a day, I am finding enough time, which is half an hour plus, to enter into that unknowing and to feel that I am known. Oh, what an experience. All my life I have wrestled with wanting to be accepted. And now and again, I've had that wonderful opportunity with human beings of them telling me that they accept me to the point that they love me. And many opportunities I've had of wanting to shrug that off because you don't know me. I can't know me. Why would you love me? And yet, this acceptance thing is something that we are so vitally in need of, especially in times like this. So I would encourage you, maybe get the book, but at least look up the idea of contemplative prayer and see what's going on. We've got a small group that meets in my community here. We've had to delay that now because of the distancing that we've had to have between us. But we're really looking forward to getting back again in this way of reaching into the unknown and expressing what that feels like to one another. Good opportunity. Till next time we meet, God bless you.